Has Kai Havertz changed Arsenal? Has he revolutionised the way Arsenal play? Does he deserve more respect? One of the most disrespected players by rival fans, Spurs fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, whoever you support. The narrative amongst football fans, pundits, reporters, journalists is that Kai Havertz so far has not achieved or lived up to the expectations set by him by those people. Now, Kai Havertz, this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, coming from a Spurs fan, I'm giving a neutral opinion here. But the opinion in the masses is that Kai Havertz has not delivered in an Arsenal shirt so far. Let's rewind back to August. £65 million Kai Havertz joins Chelsea and signs for Arsenal. He joins the list of players to play for both clubs, like the likes of Ashley Cole, Cesc Fabregas, Olivier Giroud, and you know the rest. But I want to rewind a little bit further. Granit Xhaka had one of the best seasons of his career the season before Kai Havertz signs for Arsenal. Granit Xhaka leaves, joins Bayer Leverkusen, links up with Xabi Alonso, who is smashing the Bundesliga to smithereens, and he's 35 games unbeaten. And Granit Xhaka has played a very, very important role in that system for Xabi Alonso. So Kai Havertz had a lot of shoes to fill, big shoes to fill off the season that Granit Xhaka had. £65 million joins London rivals Arsenal. This is going to be interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below. Has Kai Havertz been a success? Now, some players take a while to adapt to systems. It took Jack Grealish 12 to 18 months to really start seeing goal contributions, start seeing better performances, start seeing better all-round play, the link-up, the runs, the hold-up play. Kai Havertz has played in various different roles at Chelsea. Right? He's played in various different roles. Before he moved to Arsenal, he's played on the left, he's played on the right, he's played attacking midfield, he's played the number 9. I believe Arsenal, when they signed Kai Havertz, Mikel Arteta has got this knack of signing players that can play in various positions. And he's kind of got that from Pep. If you look at Akanji, centre-back by trade, can play left-back. John Stones, centre-back by trade, plays in midfield. Right-back, Rico Lewis, plays in midfield. And he kind of did that at Bayern Munich with Lahm. And I think Arteta has taken that off of Guardiola to essentially deploy Kai Havertz into a number of roles. And he's done that a lot with the squad. You know, Ben White, another one, can play in various positions. But the question is, where is Kai Havertz most effective? I think he kind of suits this narrative. His position is an 8.5. And what I mean by that, he's somewhere in between the 8 role, the 9 role, and the 10 role. Julian Alvarez is a little bit similar. Ollie Watkins, you know, a little bit similar. They're not traditional number 9s, but they can play various positions. So he joins Arsenal for £65 million. Their second biggest signing of the transfer window, alongside the £100 million Declan Rice. And because of Declan Rice's performances have got better and better and better, and he's taken on this senior role, he's taken on this leadership role, it's almost like it's kind of put Kai Havertz's performances under a little bit of the spotlight. But naturally, you're going to be under the spotlight with the £65 million price tag, which is not his fault. So he joins Arsenal. He plays attacking midfield. He plays the number 9 role. He plays out wide. He plays central midfield. They've gone from Granit Xhaka, Odegaard and Partey to Declan Rice, Kai Havertz and Odegaard. Then he plays number 9. Then he plays out wide. All that being said, the guy's played Champions League football, FA Cup, League Cup. He's played for Germany. And the guy has, in an Arsenal shirt, 12 goal contributions in 39 games in all competition. Now, you're going to be thinking, that's poor. Bearing in mind, he's playing various number of roles. He's not necessarily playing in a number 9 role where his job is to just score. He's played 27 games in the Premier League and got 11 goal contributions. And in the last 5 or 6 games, he's been in magnificent form. You know, scored against France last night. The other night in a friendly, Germany versus France. Was very good in that game. And it's almost like now the narrative is changing a little bit because he's getting more goal contributions. Now, I think when you look at Kai Havertz's best attribute for me is the off-the-ball work. Look, he is not world-class by any stretch of the imagination. Regardless of his £65 million price tag, he is not world-class. And people are going to say, Henry, he scored in big games. I know he scored in the Champions League final. I know he scored in the Club World Cup final. I get that. He's a big game scorer. Off the ball work is where I think he's at his best. He's winning the ball back in the final third. You know, who was involved in the goal against Manchester City when Arsenal beat them at the Etihad, at the Emirates? Kai Havertz was. Who was involved in both goals when Arsenal beat Liverpool in the Premier League? Kai Havertz was. He doesn't necessarily score and get as many goal contributions as you'd like, but it's similarly to the way that Gabriel Jesus plays, that he's effective off the ball and on the ball. And when you look at Arsenal this season, they have got the best record against the top 6 in the Premier League. Manchester City, to my knowledge, have only beaten Manchester United. They've drew with Liverpool, they've drew with Spurs, they've lost to Arsenal, they drew with Chelsea. Yet Arsenal have beaten Liverpool, Arsenal have beaten City. Arsenal have beaten Manchester United. And the point I'm making is Kai Havertz turns up in a lot of these big games. He might not necessarily get a goal or an assist, but he is involved in the play. He's off the ball work. He's a very, very good hard worker. Travels a lot of space. And yes, you're going to say that's part of his job. But he's in a team which has scored the most goals in the Premier League. Arsenal sit top of the league with 70 goals, 24 assists. He's very, very good at defensive work from corners because he's very good in the air. And I just think for some players, it takes them 1 year, 2 years to be embedded into the team. Like I mentioned Jack Grealish earlier, to perform. Kai Havertz to have 11 goal contributions in the 24 or 25 games he's played in the Premier League. I don't think that's a bad return. 11 goal contributions, and then you got Saka, 20 odd goal contributions this season. Odegaard, 15 odd goal contributions this season. Martinelli. If Arsenal win the league this season, it may not be because of Kai Havertz's goals, but collectively, he is contributing to a unit that has been assembled by Arteta, where we don't just rely on one goal scorer. You know, for instance, if you look at Tottenham a couple of years ago, it was Kane, Son, and the drop-off in goal contributions and goals and assists was massive. Arsenal collectively have goals from Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, Kai Havertz, Ben White contributing, Odegaard contributing, and Nketiah contributing. I think he's been signed to play a number of roles, to contribute goals and assists, and to be this option in various positions. I do think some of the criticism is justified, but I also, on the other hand, think some of the criticism is a little bit harsh, because when you look at Kai Havertz, there was this narrative that he was going to be the next Robin van Persie. He was going to be the next Dennis Bergkamp. Like, you're talking some of the greatest players to have played in this league. Kai Havertz is not that guy. But to have 8 goals in the league this season and to have 3 assists in 27 games, Arsenal have still got 10 games left this season. Kai Havertz quite easily could finish on 12 goals and 8 assists this season. And if you're looking at 20 goal contributions, hypothetically, if he finishes on that, I don't think that's a bad, tally for the season. I think Kai Havertz, next season, you may see more of a 15, 16 goal a season, 10, 15 assists next season in all comps. But I do think some of the criticism is a little bit harsh. Considering it's his first season, I understand the £65 million price tag. I completely understand that. And I guess you could say a player doesn't necessarily determine his price tag. And of course, there will be other players who would have been signed for cheaper, who would have performed better. Cole Palmer, for instance, The guy was signed for £40 million and has got over 20 goal contributions this season. However, I'm not saying Kai Havertz is better than Cole Palmer, but Kai Havertz is doing it in a team where it's a little bit harder to contribute because there are various contributors. If you look at Manchester City, they have got goals from everywhere. Liverpool have got goals from everywhere. City, Spurs have got goals from everywhere. Villa have got goals from everywhere. Chelsea have only really got 3 players this season that are in double-digit figures for goals and assists. So it's an interesting debate. However, I do think the criticism is unjustified. I do think eventually Kai Havertz will be a success in an Arsenal shirt. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. I understand Arsenal are in a title race and they want the best signings to come through the door as possible. But we will see. Only time will tell. But this guy, by the way, is no Dennis Bergkamp or Robin van Persie levels yet. He may go on to achieve fantastic things. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.